Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, we are replacing our existing IBC Tote with a brand new one. You can see the handle here is all screwed up, and it has quite a bit of sediment in the bottom of it too, so the water that the goats were getting was not very healthy or good, and the base was also trash. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace this with a brand new IBC Tote, and I think it's a little bigger too. I think it has like 50 more gallons. But we're going to fortify the base. We're going to wrap it in plastic and put insulation, and so the cold from the ground won't freeze the water this winter from underneath. And we also are going to put thick insulation panels that we showed on a couple videos ago around it, but we're going to do that at a little later date. Here I'm just using a tiller to chop up the land a little bit. When we took the cinder blocks out, they had these big, deep impressions, and we had to get rid of those. So I did that with the tiller, and then Dad finalized everything with a shovel. Check out that technique. That's why he's the best. The challenge with the base of this new tote was we have to make it level and straight, obviously, but we had to make it high enough to fit the bucket underneath so we could fill the bucket, but not so high that the water catchment system won't drain into the IBC tote. So this took a lot of time. We measured 1,000 times, every different way. We used pavers, we used cinder blocks, we used our ingenuity, and we used our big muscles to figure this out. But we did take our time because we didn't want to do this again next week. After setting the initial pavers and getting the correct measurements, we realized we were too close to our overflow barrel, and we had to move everything over by about 1.5 feet. So Dad had to dig, and I had to move all these pavers and get these the ground as level as we could without grabbing the tiller again. But here we are, getting our exercise in, and that never hurt anyone. Unless you were hurt from doing exercise, and then I guess, that doesn't apply to you. But you know, for the most part, exercise is it's pretty beneficial. Hey, we're testing the fit on this, making sure that it does fit and it is as level as we can get it. This is probably me explaining my plan to Dad, which I will eventually disregard because it didn't work. Other's Legacy Farm Life, yo. We ended up stuffing a pallet full of insulation and then wrapping it in this industrial plastic. This is going to provide a nice insulative layer on the bottom of the tote so it doesn't freeze, because as I believe I mentioned in a couple videos ago, hauling water in the winter sucks. So doing this now is going to prevent a lot of headaches and a lot of sore arms in the future. Now, I am not a perfectionist, but I was not happy with the way this was wrapped. So when Dad went to get the staples and the tape to get this thing affixed to the pallet, I messed around with it and made it nice and neat and clean. Yeah, look at that. Good job, me. With our freshly wrapped pallet, we decided to put it on the pavers just to see how it would look again with all the plastic wrapping, make sure it wasn't rocking. But this time, I think we realized that we were too low. There's several things that we have to account for. We have to account for the ground, the size of the bucket, the size of the base, the size of the pavers, and where the spigot is on the IBC tank. So I think we're going off and just measuring just a bunch of things. And here we realized, yeah, we're too short. So we took it off and we built it back up again. We used cinder blocks and those pavers that you see there, but I think eventually we ended up removing a layer of pavers because we were just too high. Again, it's that dance to where that perfect height in order for the gutters to drain into the tote, but not so low that we can't get the bucket underneath. So I think we did take a layer of those pavers off, and then here I am using my phone to level. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have an iPhone, you can use the level on it. Is it accurate? I don't know. But it was good enough for this, and it actually did work pretty well. Yeah, there's me in action right now.
Good.
Good.
All right.
All right, let's get this.
Get this tank on here.
Nope.
No, that's the tank. Should be all right, shouldn't it?
I think so.
I don't need the blocks to be in the way though. Awesome.
At this point, we went in to grab lunch, and I forgot to turn my GoPro off, and so while I was editing, I had 45 minutes of this shot. Enjoy. Nah, just kidding. I'm not going to put you through that. But here's the final product, sort of, and you'll find out here in a little bit. So it's the day after Thanksgiving, and I was editing the video to put out this week, and all the files that had us putting this IBC tank in and the water catchment system, I dragged them into the program, and they all said file was corrupt or video couldn't be used or whatever. So I guess that's all lost, but I guess I'll just show you what we did, I guess on the back end. But here is our water catchment system that we just installed. We got a new IBC tank. The one that we did have, that we put over there, is had a bunch of gunk in the bottom of it, and then the handle, as you saw in the video, was broken. We had to use a pair of pliers to open and close it, so that was a pain in the butt. But this thing is nice. It's there's still a little leveling that needs to get done. There was some settling when it rained, so we need to address that. But yeah, we got all this done. Tighten that up. The old system had like 3 or 4 more pieces of PVC that were just extraneous, so we removed those, got that tied down, and then the overflow bucket is there. But yep, we're very happy. This thing will fill up that bucket in like 5 seconds, so wonderful. What do you think? If I were to do it all over again, I probably would have put a gravel base down and then put the pavers over that, but we didn't have any gravel, and this kind of needed to get done, so probably something I'll redo in a couple years.